In the 20th century, Cambodia saw more than its fair share of horror and inhumanity. But this week, city hero Brian McConaghy is making a difference there.
Because this is a holiday that went very badly wrong. And yet it has been an inspiring thing that has really influenced the rest of my life and is very much a country I have absolutely fallen in love with.
Now, the holiday Brian is talking about is the one he took to Cambodia 15 years ago, his first to Asia. He was asked to deliver a care package to friends of friends doing aid work at refugee camps as the Civil War raged on. It was a shock, even for a man who grew up in Northern Ireland.
I certainly saw lots of violence in Belfast, but nothing was comparable to what I saw in Cambodia in terms of the shelling of refugee camps where helpless civilians were held in camps, and if the camps were shelled, they had nowhere to run.
It was quite literally then and there that Brian decided to try and help rather than just stand on the sidelines. He'd figured he'd bring in a couple of suitcases of medical supplies his next visit.
Lower mainland hospitals and some physicians found out about what I wanted to do, and they jumped in, and I ended up with 9 tons of medical supplies, which I then had to get in through an embargo.
But Brian managed to get around the embargo and wind his way through the myriad of communist government paperwork and other issues, and the Ratanak Foundation was born. Ratanak, which means precious gem, was a little girl Brian met who died because there was no medication or equipment to save her. And now, while not up to Western standards, Ratanak programs such as the medical clinics and agriculture programs are making a difference.
Are you starting to see the success of the programs now that a lot of them have been running for 3, 6, 9 years?
Absolutely. It's been a wonderful process to see Cambodians not only stepping up to the plate and learning from scratch, but also seeing them setting up their own organizations.
At home, Brian is an RCMP officer and one of the men who worked on the Donald Baker case, the Lower Mainland man who preyed on Cambodian children. The foundation, he says, is now aiming to help some of the 30,000 children in the Cambodian sex trade.
Because we're dealing with a country that's post-revolutionary, post-Holocaust, so they don't have the legal resources either to investigate or to prosecute people themselves.
Brian admits this is tough at times on not only him, but his wife Louise and their 2 children.
If I look at the big picture, it's still a mess. The strength that comes to me is from my own faith and from working with little kids, one at a time.
If you're interested in helping the foundation, you can reach Brian at www.ratanak.org.